So today I have an event, and it's a virtual event. It's just a couple of creators coming together and chatting about the holiday books that they were a part of, or wrote, or illustrated, or wrote and illustrated. I am going to be chatting about my process and making, ooh, that is some glare, look at that. Okay, we're just gonna put this down. Nope, that didn't do it. There we go. My process in the Illustrator process of making this book, The Truth About Mrs. Claus, by Mina Harris. And I'm not 100% sure if Mina's gonna be at the event or not, but yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm not a fan of like, I can't turn it. I'm not a fan of public speaking or talking to people, really. Talking to people, which is funny because I'm an illustrator, author illustrator, and not big on chatting with people. One-on-one, yes. Big groups, not so much. But today we're gonna be doing an event. I had my little like, hello, so we're gonna practice that right now. Hello, my name is Keisha Morris, and I'm an author illustrator, and I illustrated The Truth About Mrs. Claus, written by Mina Harris. I just realized I should probably put written by Mina Harris. In The Truth About Mrs. Claus, we meet Amalia, the elf, who comes from a long line of bear makers, and she loves everything about making bears except, well, the bear making part. Worried about disappointing her family, Amalia goes straight to Santa for advice. But it's Mrs. Claus who knows how to solve Amalia's problem, and who needs help with a secret of her own. So that's the gist about, or that's the little snippet of The Truth About Mrs. Claus. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna spit random questions now. I'm gonna do that one more time because I feel like I did not do it very well. Yeah, and in The Truth About Mrs. Claus, we meet Amalia, the elf, who comes from a long line of bear makers, and she loves everything about making bears, except for, making them. Worried about disappointing her family, Amalia goes straight to Santa for advice, but it's Mrs. Claus who knows how to solve Amalia's problem, and who needs help with a secret of her own. And that's The Truth About Mrs. Claus. How did you come to be the illustrator? Well, I got an email from my agent. That's usually how it starts out. You get an email from your agent, or an art director or editor reaches out to you. And they asked me to read the manuscript and let them know if I was available. And so I read the manuscript, and I thought it was a cute story, and I thought that it was a different take on Mrs. Claus, and I said yes. However, we were on a bit of a tight turnaround, so it was definitely a tight deadline to do this book. It was a really interesting process, and I don't think I've ever worked so fast on a book before. But all the same, I think every book is different, and every book has their own timeline, and honestly, I'm really happy with how the book turned out, and yeah. The favorite part about illustrating this book was the sketch process. I loved coming up with the characters, I loved coming up with all the different elves, and all the different variations of people that we see in the book, the elves that we see in the book mostly, because it's mostly elves that are in the background. And then getting to create a Mrs. Claus character that's just, it's a different version of Mrs. Claus that we've never really seen before. So that was really exciting. I wanted her to look like a mix of Elsa and Oprah. Like if you look at her hair, like her hair has like a little Elsa wisp to it, and then she kind of gives off like, she actually kind of looks like the principal from, to me now, she looks like the principal from Abbott Elementary. And then she also kind of gives off an Oprah vibe to me. And I feel like those three combinations are a very interesting combination. But yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. We wanted, I think originally they had asked for her to look a little bit more like Octavia Spencer. And like I got that, like she has this kind of like wholesome feel to her. But I also felt like if Mrs. Claus, not to spoil the book, but if Mrs. Claus is kind of like, you know, what you don't expect her to be, I feel like she has to have this kind of, you know, feeling about her that she owns who she is and she owns her role within the Christmas Santa Claus universe. And so I wanted to make a Mrs. Claus that felt that way, but also felt very like, almost like mentor, someone you can look up to and still feel very homey towards, as well as feel authoritative at the same time. And that might feel like it's a heavy task, but I think I got it. And also coming up with the wardrobe for Mrs. Claus was really interesting, because when you do books, like you're the illustrator, like you have to think you're everyone. You're the costume designer, you're the set designer, you're the character designer, you're all of the design things. I had been watching a lot of like behind the scenes of like Encanto and a lot of behind the scenes of like Frozen, and all of the little details that they would talk about that you don't necessarily notice, but I felt like that just added so much to the character. And in my mind I'm like, well, she lives in the North Pole, it's cold. And in Frozen, Elsa has this really beautiful dress that has these like snowflakes and these just jewels and these like, I don't know, just these really intricate details in her dress. And the same thing with Encanto. With a lot of the characters, their clothing have details that relate to their power or their gift. And so I wanted to do something like that for Mrs. Claus, and so we have like a lot of snowflakes and jewels and things like that around her kind of like royal-esque robe that I made for her. And it felt like she needed to have something that felt like a robe. She kind of reminds me of my grandmother, because my grandmother will wear a robe around the house all day until she's ready to go out. And that kind of is where I kind of took that inspiration from, I think. Just this really comfortable clothing, but also it speaks to the character and who she is. And so I just felt like that really needed to come across in the clothing. I've never done a Christmas book before, so that was new for me. I was excited about it when I heard what it was, and then when I heard who was writing it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Sound good? I don't know. I think this is how I'm gonna sit. I shouldn't do this though. You're not gonna see my lights, unfortunately, which is not great, but my camera sucks. Like, look how bad it is compared to that one and this one. Like, my screen computer camera sucks. Apple. About 30 minutes. I think I kind of like how I'm here. I do wish you saw the top of my head, but you know, I guess I can move my desk up just a little bit more. And that's about it. At least this helps with posture, and it kind of looks like I'm sitting, but I'm not. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, my cat. I'm sorry if you hear them meowing in the background. They're very needy during the winter time. Hi, Elfie. Would you like to see her? She's a black cat. She's so cute. She has these really piercing green eyes sometimes, and they're so beautiful. Her name is Elfie, after Elphaba from Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. Yeah. If you've ever read the book and you've ever seen the musical, you know why her name is Elfie. She is not what the character, the Wicked Witch of the West, is not what you think, based off of the Wizard of Oz. Based off of the character, not from the Wizard of Oz, but from Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, because honestly, it's a great book. I really enjoyed that book. I got the book on tape. Wait, where's your collar? Her collar's off. I don't know what happened to it, and she's drooling. Is this too tight for you? You've got a little bit of a gap. Alright, we're coming up on about 20 minutes. Yeah, I don't really do a lot of elevator pitches. I probably should practice more because I'm gonna be releasing my author Illustrator debut next year, and I should probably, like, I think it's like an hour or 30 or 40 minutes or something. I don't know how long it is, it doesn't really say. But they don't really, they look a little questionable, I think. So you could see them in there, just also could. Is that better? But that looks better than, it's like my camera has gotten worse. I have no idea if she's gonna be there or not. There's nothing that says that she's not gonna be there. But there's also nothing that says that she is gonna be there. That looks so nice. I don't remember getting anything for my socials. So I'm getting ready to do the virtual event with Books of Wonder. See, I got my Christmas lights on. We're gonna see how this goes. I'm a little nervous when it comes to this stuff. I think I said that before. I've done in-person events once, and then I did a few virtual events. And every time I get nervous, my heart races, you know, having people ask me questions and having to think of answers, especially when I don't know what the questions are gonna be. It's really hard to not feel anxiety or feeling overwhelmed. So I have to log in literally a few seconds, and just for like a check, and I'll see y'all after the event. I think. I'll let you know how it goes. Bye.
Let's see, we've got The Truth About Mrs. Claus. And they sent it spread by spread, so this should look good. Keisha, how's that look? Amazing. Keisha, I just noticed your headband. That is too cute.
That'd be a little festive.
I love it. It's the last thing before the holidays really kick off. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited.
Where the sun goes down even before you've had dinner sometimes. The more this darkness falls upon us, the brighter the world gets. It almost seems like the whole world is made of light this time of year. There are soft natural lights, bright festive lights, all sorts of light all around. And that's really the essence of this book, that there's light everywhere, and that light is something we can all share. So I'm pretty excited to share this with you. It's a book I hope feels like it's for everyone. So, I'll read. Twinkle, twinkle, winter night.
Little Piggy, not part of the text. There are things like when it talks about the family coming in and planting a trait and help write. It was an opportunity to put the words holy whale poop. A character says that out loud, and so I just thought it was funny because it would force a parent to actually have to read that out loud and their kid laugh at them. So it's fun throwing things in there to make the kids, you know, feel superior and watch their parents get a little goofy in a way that they probably...
After Thanksgiving, we put up our Christmas tree, and then while we do that, we start our Harry Potter marathon. So we watch all of the movies, but we give ourselves until Christmas. So we have to be done by Christmas. So that's what we do. We've been struggling this year. I think we're on number 4 or 5. So we gotta get moving. Yeah, the last few are a little long, so.
Yes, they are. Good luck. Thank you all so much for humoring my silly holiday question.
So I just finished the event and the virtual event, and man, the anxiety that you have before one of these things, or at least I have before one of these things, is ridiculous. Like, I was so nervous. But I mean, it ended up obviously being fine. I don't know how it's gonna play back, but there are a few that there's one that I want to watch, and I didn't realize it was on the website. So we might actually go look for that and see, because she said that they're gonna have a replay of it. My computer is so hot right now because of the screen. So Mina Harris was not there. I feel weird though, because I'm like, some of the answers I was like, well, there really wasn't a ton of collaboration like with me and the author, and most of the notes came from the art director, the editor. But I mean, most of it they just kind of let me do what I do, and then if something wasn't working, they let me know. But anyways, but it was really cool. I after the fact, of course, anxiety is lower, stress is lower. It's almost like I can't do anything fully to 100% like if I have something that I have to do, like this, like an event. And that is really weird, like when I think about it. Like, why is my day almost like disrupted because I can't focus on something else before I do the thing? This is really cool though. This is really cute. But I'm about to go get my toast because I'm a little hungry. But I just wanted to come back and just say, like, hey, I just want to say that I'm done. And I did do a little bit of a recording of the event and and like some of the questions and some of the panelists answering them. But I guess it kind of gives me a little bit of like like if I do this again kind of feeling, like what it's gonna feel like. So that's good. I got experience in doing it again, since it had been honestly like 2-3 years since my last virtual event, or even like event. So it feels good to kind of like, dust off the shelves and do something like this again. So because I also need to brush up, because I'm going to be doing probably some of this when my own book comes out. So, and then I have to also read it. I don't love reading other people's books. I like reading my own books because I feel so confident with it, because I've been sitting with this text for how long. Whereas like when I'm working on a book, I'm not super confident because it's not my text. It's someone else's. So I don't want to feel like I'm butchering whatever they've written. Even though I did the illustrations, it still feels kind of like, this, I don't know, it just feels like a lot of weight to carry as the illustrator, like trying to present a work that you did with someone else, but not directly, but indirectly worked with them, So like, you can't ask me questions about what the author was thinking because I have no idea. I just know what, the illustrations look like, what we came up with. But yeah, I'm gonna go get my toast, and yeah, it was good. I feel better now. I just have to like brace for family coming in this week. All right, bye.